Right, welcome back. This is the start of update 3, which is the priming and painting of the T34. As you can see from the last episode, I've added all the fuel cans and bits and bobs. I'm ready to see, I've taken that one off there, missed that one out. Just put the rings there. Everything's ready to prime on that. I'm ready to rock and roll, and I'll put that up here a second. This is stuck in there, by the way. This is just to hold it while I'm doing things. And same with the actual turret. That's all ready to go as well. There we are. That's all ready to rock and roll as well. And I've got all the wheels. Are all individually done on top of there, ready to be sprayed. Idlers. All the bits, there's a bit of the commander's hatch on there, and we have the tracks, which let me see. Let's just move this thing out of the way a second. That's why I show you. This is just one of the packing things from one of the kits that I usually use for my tracks. To play off this polystyrene, and then I can use the polystyrene for a base when it's all got paint all over it. So that's where the tracks are. They're on there. And if eagle-eyed viewers may notice there's a little, where are we at? Little T34 there. That's one of the that my mate Vasily sent. Quite a few of those I've got, so I might give everybody one of them for taking part. Which isn't my idea, it's Vince's idea, which I thought was a cracking idea. So we'll see how that goes. So that's that. Let's get back to the start. Let me just move things about again. I need a bigger desk. That's the problem. I need a bigger desk. Right. Let's just move out of the way a minute. So what I'm going to use is Mr. Surfacer 1000, which is this one here. I let down 50-50 or 60-40, more 60-40 with the paint, and 40 paint, 60 thinners, and the self-leveling thinners as well, which I've already made up. Which I've made 2 batches of, because I'm going to use the Mr. Surfacer mahogany. I'm going to try them on the tracks. See what it goes down on the tracks, which is all. I've pre-mixed them. They're all ready to rock and roll. So let's make a start. I'll just give them a bit of a shake, and hopefully it'll go through the airbrush no problems. We'll soon find out any second now, won't we? Let's put that lid back on there, because knowing me, it will spill. There we go. So let's just see. Oh, good start, wasn't it? Spilt all the bloody paint. Let's put the lid back on. That's a good cracking start, that. Let's just see. Yeah, I'll be alright, I'll be through that. So here we go. There we are. Gentle coats. Painted darker in the here, but I'm going to do the shadow coat, that will be covered. Right, let's make sure it's all covered. Well, I've also masked off the periscopes as well, sorry I should have said that. Sorry if it keeps going off shot. My apologies. Right. Yeah, quite happy with that. Just in case I want to depress the gun and elevate the gun. Right, so that's the turret. Let's start on the lower hull now. Just the sharp eye getting a lot of this PE covered. You see? Yeah. You get all the nooks and crannies. Just go from the back of there so I can get into there. I'll get underneath all these things when I pick it up. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? Sorry. Right, I think that's okay for the top. Let's lift it up and go from the bottom now. We shall see. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? Bloody hell, think again. It's a top up. As I keep going out, it's got to play into these nooks and crannies. Right, what I'll do is I'll stop the video here and I'll just carry on finishing that off, and I'll come back to you when it's done. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, that's that completed. Been on all the nooks and crannies, so that's, you know, leave to dry now. There's a few marks on it which I'm going to sand off slightly. I don't like them. A couple of glue marks which I've missed. So I'll go in a bit of fine emery cloth and take them out. But yeah, it's covered quite well actually. Quite impressed with that coverage of that. And it's still got the nice texture as well that I put on. It's still coming quite through nicely. Obviously the turret had the texture already on, so that's quite nice anyhow, the turret. So that's that, and what I've done with the rest of the grey is I've just done the rear guard again, commander's part of the commander's hatch. There's the other part down there. Where we are? There we go. There we go. We've got the track cleats for the ice cleats, and the saw and the rest of the commander's coupe. All this is going to be done black, all this. The rims and these will all be done black. So there's no point in you seeing me spray those black. So I'll do that off camera, but I'm going to try this Mr. Surfacer 1000 mahogany for the tracks. Just going to see what kind of thing we get on it. So let's give it a whirl. Let's just put the compressor on. Leave it to come to pressure. Right. Copper wire there. Let's give it a shake. Make sure it's all mixed up. Yeah, burnish these. Sorry, I should have said I've actually burnished these with AK's burnishing fluid, and they came off quite well. There's a couple of bits that I've missed, but I can live with that. I can live with that. Do the same again on this side. There's a couple of marks that I've missed, but most of it's covered, which is good for me. It's got a quite nice colour. Right, so let's have a go at this then. What are you going to cut out today? I'm just going to leave me hanging. Let's have a go. It's quite a nice colour, it's coming out quite well. I'll probably dry slightly different, but it's actually quite a nice colour. Keep forgetting about the bloody camera, don't I need a director, I think. Make sure we get all the guide horns covered. I don't know if you can quite see. Let's move this out the way. I do need a bigger bench, or more organised, one of the two, or probably both. on here, on the spare track that goes onto the whole front of the glacis plate, I've actually put some little bolts, which is actually bolted onto the front, so I've added some bolts to the spare track. So these are all obviously the metal tracks, but it's added 4 bolts from the Meng set of bolts on there. So, and the other two is going to, I think I may just have them hanging from the turret. So. Right, let's flick them over. Start again. I missed. Right, start the other one now. That's quite fast, this stuff. Go down the sides. And the other side. So let's see if we can get into that. Okay, we'll start off with this part here, where can we see how I'm doing? Just make sure we get in. Let me just put the brush over there a second. Let me just see if there is much I need to get in there. No, not really. Much to go in there. Right, let's try the sides on these ones. Yeah, I'm liking this colour, definitely. think it could be onto a winner for this. What I'm trying to do, maybe you can't see where the tracks join, and you know, when it's lying flat you won't get into them places. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to go individually in each, starting off obviously at the beginning, and just, if you can see it on the camera, you can't really see, I'm just going to go in between each link like so. So what I'll do is I'll do that off camera and come back and show you the end product. Well, not the end product, but what I've just done. So back in a bit. Right, we're back, gentlemen. I have to apologise that I didn't video the putting of the shadow coat on. I totally forgot all about videoing halfway through it, and I just realised that I didn't put the video on to record it or anything like that. So what I've done is I thought I'd just try something different. Like sometimes the aircraft kit will do this sort of, what is it, marble in effect. So I've done something sort of similar. We've been a monotone colour, the greens, so I can pick some different sort of highlights and lowlights. I've obviously done the shadows where the shadows would fall, like underneath the turret and things like that, and around the turret base on the main hull, and on the lower hull as well. That'll be darker. That's all done underneath there. There we are. Yeah, so I thought I'd just try that for just something different. It may not work, it may well, I don't know yet, until I start applying the base colours. So yes, that's what I thought I'd do. It's just to try, really, more than anything. It's trial and error in it, really. Sometimes how people do have come up with ideas and they're working, and sometimes they don't work. So I thought I'd give it a go. See, I've done underneath the darkness under the turret itself, which is naturally dark. Yeah, so that's that part. So let's bring up the wheels and the track. Well, the wheels, it's obviously they're all separate. So I've just sprayed them with the German grey, the Vallejo German grey. There we are. That one there. I can't see the number, which gone off. It's the German grey anyhow. Vallejo German grey primer. So that's all I had primed in, and then I decided I didn't realise, well, I forgot all about it, about putting chips in the tyres, so I've had to do them now. Some of them have, some of them haven't. But these are going to be painted with a tyre colour anyhow, tyre grey colour, and obviously these are going to be with the 4BO, things like that. So they came out reasonably well. And with the tracks, I decided to use the mahogany. There we go, mahogany. Let me find it. Mr. Surfacer. Yeah, Mr. Surfacer 1000. I thought I bought this on a sort of just to try it out. I thought I'd try this on the tracks, and it's come out really nice. A nice colour to work from. It really has. Really nice base colour to work from there. Nice coverage as well. I went inside the links as I went, just as I'm doing now. I did that, so I made sure I got in between the track links, got them coloured up, so they come out really nicely. I'm really quite pleased with those. So obviously I just done some little bits as well. The track, I'm going to try and use this. This is a chocolate bar called Toblerone. It's the foil from the Toblerone, so I just sprayed that with the Mr. Grey Surface 1000. I just primed it. I may try and use it for like a tarp or something like that. Just try and see if give it a go, see what happens with it. So I've sprayed that, put them on there, and all the rest of the stuff is just primed with the obviously the cupola. Commander's cupola. There's two parts of that to be prime. One stuck down here. I've got the saw down here as well. Let me see if I can lift it to the camera. And there's my little T34 85 as well there. My made rinse. So I might do a few of them for people who just to stick on the desktop and the desktop on the workbench. Something different, isn't it? It's going to be either painted or unpainted, and they can do what they want with it. Yeah, so there's the the tow cables as well. They're just primed at the moment in the German grey. And if you can see where the ice cleats, and beside the ice cleats near the track, if you can make it out or not, where we are, here is the commander's cupola that goes around the outside. There's 5 pieces, so I've put the foil on those and give them a coat of glue and glaze just to keep them in place, and hopefully I can get them put onto the tank near the end and dull them down slightly. Maybe I think maybe it shows the wrong colour, but hey ho, it's you know, I'll just give it a whirl. So that's where we are. So the next step for me will be using the new paints. I'm going to try. I've never used them before. I make Paul from Paul's Military Models, or Military Modeler Paul. He said he's used these attacker paints before. This is the lacquer version, so I'm going to give these a go. So we'll probably start off with the base coat. We have 4BA Protective Green, we have the Dark Moss Green, ZO Protective Green. So we'll start off with using these. I think we've never used them before, so it'll be interesting to use. Yeah, something a bit different for me with the attacker. So that's what we're going to use anyhow. So I'll get set up and we'll see what colour I'm going to use first for the base, and when it's done I shall get back. So see you in about 5 minutes. Well, 2 minutes for you, because 10 hours for me. See you later. Right, finally got set up. So we're going to use the attacker paints for the first time. We're going to use their 4BO Protective Green, which is C251 4BO. Where are we? There we are. So I've basically done a 50-50 with level and thinner. We'll see what we do. So I'm going to start off with really light coats. So let's see. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll start off. Can we see where we are? There we go. We'll just start off light coat. You can hardly see the colour change. Sorry, we're out of stick shot again. Sorry, way out of shot again, aren't we? So apologies. Let's just go underneath. Just to bother about how it goes on underneath, because you've got a shadow coat anyhow, so. Yeah, quite happy with that. A bit more touch on there, so you can still see the dark and light shades are. A bit more on this turret, I think, underneath, because it's really dark underneath there. Right, I'm quite happy with that. Start again with it. Below. Oh, I think I'll put it on top of the turntable, I mean, I won't have to make it as much then. There we go. Same again, we'll just start off low, you know, light coats. So I'll carry on doing this, and when I've got to where I want it, this isn't too far away now, I'll come back to you. So I'll just see where we are on that, and I'll be back in a moment. Right, back. Quite say I'm very happy with so far, so good. And we can, let's just zoom in slightly. You can see perhaps better. Still got them nice tones coming through, which I'm quite happy about. Come out quite well for the first attempt. He's tweaking here and there, but generally speaking, yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to let that dry, give it a good time to cure, and I'm going to be using an AK paint this time. I'm going to be using find it, the AK light base, 4BO light base, just gently over the tops as well. I did have a paint mask and I can't seem to find it, so if I find it I'll use it with this, like it to mottle it even more. So once I get this is dry and I'll give it good time to cure, I'll come back and we'll start again with the highlights. So see you soon. Right, welcome back ladies and gentlemen. I'll have to apologise, I didn't record me putting the highlight coat on, but you can tell, you know, what I've done. The highlight coat, just use the AK, part of the AK range of the 4BO stuff. I use the highlight, I'll show you which one it is and the number. The Russian highlight coat, which is AK-033. So I'm sorry about that, but I must have got carried away and totally forgot. So that's been this here, it's been left a good 24 hours to just sort of make sure it's dry, and I've stuck the aerial on as well. You can see I've tempted fate by putting the aerial on there as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a filter on to start with, and I'm going to use a tan filter, which is a Wilder product, which is a NL12. And with this thing you need to give them a good shake. I shook it off camera as well, but you really need to give them a good shake. Right. So what I'm going to do is just use a flat-headed brush, dip it in, make sure you take most of it off, take a bit off on your cloth as well, and basically, can we see where we are? I'll just remove it. We'll just do this top bit to start with. See, there's hardly anything on my brush. Hardly anything on my brush at all. You can maybe just see it's a bit damp because I want it subtle. Keep the brush strokes going in the same direction if possible. Well, it's impossible sometimes not to, but if you can do so. That's a little bit there, so you're painting basically dry brushing almost to a certain degree. Take most of it off your brush and just carry on. It gives you a slight reddish, not reddish, I don't know, it just gives you that slight tone. It seems to go nicely with the 4BO and the Russian vehicles. You don't need a lot. It is almost like dry brushing. I'll turn that to the front. Let's move the turret out the way and bring her into there. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking most of it off the brush before I even attempt to put it onto the cloth. A couple of dabs, and then we can start off by just coming up. Just need a subtle change. I'll just use some out the lid. Obviously certain times where you've got to go across that way, but if you can make it the last stroke is an upward stroke, or vertical stroke. Oh, I've got to say, I highlighted all the little rivets and things like that. I highlighted those with the 4BO light shade as well. Just, they will dull down as the weathering continues. I'll show you that more on the rear, and I've painted the machine gun a lightish grey as the base coat for the what I'm going to do with it. And we'll see on there. I'll just show you on the rear side in a second with the rear of the vehicle. See, you can hardly tell the difference. You can really, when you're in natural light or light like this, you can actually see a slight variation in the tones. So it isn't as garish as they say with the modulation. So I'll show you the back, what I did with the back. As you can see, I've highlighted all the rivets with the highlight. Obviously these are the ones that I took out, the damaged rivets, and I've painted the exhaust in the same grey as the machine gun up until we're ready to give them a little bit of rust, and on that, and I've also damaged the engine hatch, not engine hatch, the grills. Just rolled them with a paintbrush that way, stabbed a couple of holes and just rubbed them with a paintbrush that way to obviously crew figures climbing up above it, damage them. Just got to see a bit of PE there, but that's going to be all black anyhow, so that's what bothered me at the moment. So what we'll do is carry on with this stuff. Just be careful with things when you come in here, like grab handles and things like this. I left that one as a plastic handle because it feels quite nice up until I knocked it off, but it's still okay. Just go along that way to start with, and then up a brush again. So it may take two coats. I'll see how it feels when it's dried. That's why I make it so thin, because you can't take it away to a certain degree, but you can add to it. This is the way I look at things anyhow. I'd rather do them a couple of times than once, and I don't like it. So at least I can add to it if I need to. You see, it goes quite a long way. So what I'll do now is I'll carry on off camera, and I'll go around and do the whole vehicle, and when we've done that I'll come back to you. So we'll see you in a bit. Right, on to the next step. That's the oh, there's a hair on there. Get that off there. Before we go any further. Yes, I completed the filters. I give it two coats of the tan filter, and then I give it a coat of satin primer. Satin primer. So you got that, not shiny but shiny enough, because I'm going to start doing some oil work. So we can start with the turret first. I'll just pop the that to the side for now. Bring that in, and what colours I've got is I've got white, I've got shadow brown, which is Absalon 502, is ABT015. The white one is the Winsor & Newton. I'll find that in a minute. The olive green, which is ABT050. There we are. And I haven't got any yellow, so I'm going to use light sand, which is T155. There we are. And the white is the Winsor & Newton Winton colour, Titanic white. Well, titanium white. So, and in here I have odourless thinners, one to clean the brush and one to help do the streaking on it. So I'm going to start off with, I'll do the turret side. Do we need to zoom in, or can we see there? I'll start with the yellow. I'm just putting singular dots all over. We'll just do one side at a time. Right, I'll clean that brush off. Where's my cloth gone? It's here. And we'll start with a bit of white next. On the top I use a white. And a bit of green. I'll put a bit more green on because once it's blended in, you're not really going to see it too much, but if we put enough on, we should be able to. And finally the shadow brown, which I don't want to put too much on because it's harder to blend. So we'll put this on a little bit more sparingly. Right, so we'll leave that for a second or two. Let's clean the brush. Put that brush to the side. I was zoom in a slight touch, couldn't I really? Let's have a look, see if I can zoom in a little bit more. See where we are. There we are. That's better. Yes, you can see that there. And I'm going to use a brush, just a normal brush again. It's an old synthetic round brush from Ammo. Using the clean thinners, damping your brush. This is going to be hard for me to actually start with. We'll start on here, and we're just blending it and blending it and blending it. Not too much thinner, because you can always go back if you haven't got enough on. You can always go back and take it off. We're still in shot? We're not, are we? Bloody hell. Sorry. We're not in shot at all. So you just keep blending and blending and blending until you are happy with what you've got. The other thing about oil paints, if you don't like it, you can take the whole lot off. Bit of thinners and away you go. That thing out. I'm still in shot here. Just keep blending until you're happy with what you've got. Finish on that. I'm still in shot. Let me just come around here so I can take a piece off, see if I like it. Right, so what I'm going to do is get a dry brush now. This one will do. This sort of brush, and I'm just going to blend it in dry as well. Can we still see it now? Just push it about until you're happy. So this is the first process of working with the oils. Yeah, it's coming there, it's getting there, it's getting there. There we go, it's getting there, bit by bit, it's getting there. So I'm going to put a bit more on, I think. I'm going to put a bit more yellow on. Touch more brown maybe, just on the top. Just maybe a little more touch white on the top as well. Clean the brush. Same again with the sorry, I keep going out of shot with the thinners. On the brush again, take most of it off, and away you go. Too much brown there, so I'll blend that out. Take your time. I say there's no rush. You've got plenty of working time with oils. I'll go back tomorrow and do this if I really needed to. I keep going out of shot, don't I? Bloody no Steven Spielberg. Quite happy with that. Yeah, quite happy with that. So we've got that effect to start with from that side to that side. It's a bit more in your face, that one, isn't it? Really, where have we gone? Compared to that's starting to blend and, you know, not losing the modulation but softening it. So what I'll do is I'll carry on doing this. I'll do the whole turret all around the turret side, and once I've done the turret I'll get back to you and we can start on the hull. It's the same process, but I'll show you what I do again. So back in a minute. Right, back after I've done all the oil work. I'll show you something slightly different on it in a moment. I got carried away and I should actually stop and show you, but I will on a sort of a test piece. As you can see, this is all oil work, by the way, with a dark what was it, the shadow brown, just to dirty the deck up a bit. I think did it the same way as with the dots, and then I just blended it in and I did the sides, all of the grills. I'll show you what I did in a second. I'll do it in the front, obviously the rear as well. So all this is just oil, and that's at a coat of satin varnish as well. And on with the turret, which I started the same again. I've done the same again with the oils. I've blended them in dark and dirty on the top. Maybe I should have done the decals. I'm actually going to try and paint the numbers on this one. Maybe in hindsight I should have done that first before I started any oil work, but I'm sure I can still blend it in. So I'm quite pleased with that. It's come out quite well. Quite happy with that. I've got a lot of work to do yet on it. There's you know, chipping and there's pin wash to go in. Actually went round, if you can see, on where the cast mark is. I've just gone underneath with the shadow brown, and I've just blended it just to give that false shadow, and obviously a bit underneath I've made it darker as well to match the hull. What's that on now? It's off now. Yeah, so I'm quite pleased with that at the moment. It's got nice tonage and in different colours where I wanted, and you know, once it gets chipped and pin washed and whatever else I'm going to do with it, I'm sure it'll look fine. So the next step is, well, I'll show you first what I did with this loosely. I've got my old pan for turret. Brushes that I used. It's just basically the same thing I did with the blending, really. Odorless thinner, and this is just the mud again. So if I did, let's do it around here. It's 4 days old this now, so it's starting to get a bit sticky. And I did the same just by with a fine brush and going around the edges of things like this. This brush it's lost its tip now with stippling. Let's just try again. Just to give false shadow, a bit like a pin wash, but just a slightly different way of doing it. Let's get a bit of clean one of those. Clean one of those and just put a drop of that in there, just to clean the brush. Mine are all over there as well, but there you go. Just a clean cloth, moist again, and basically all I did. Can we still see what I'm doing? Maybe we can zoom in slightly. This way back out, isn't it, really, more than anything? And all I did with this is I just, instead of streaking it that way, I jabbed at it really. Just kept jabbing at it. Just kept jabbing at it until I was happy with what I got. Obviously took some off as well if it was too much. Just where the crew would be with all the, you know, the plus all the elements and where it's been and the action it saw wouldn't be pristine even if it was come off of the production line. It see, you got that nice in between there, so you could work that into there, into the edges. You can do clean bits, nice bit right up into the corners of the periscope and things like that, and just gradually blend to what you want. Obviously you won't be the true effect until it dries, but that's basically what I did. Just kept stippling it basically until I was happy with the result and where I wanted it to go. If you can see on the, you know, where the track hangers have gone there, where we are. See with the track hangers, you've got that nice shadow on there, so it's gone in towards all these pins. But you do for a pin wash as well, but I was going to emphasise it slightly with pin wash, some of the bolts and things like that. And as far as the, you know, around the, I presume that's the, it's an air vent, I think, I'm not too sure 100% on the Panther Air. And there again, I just did the same, moist brush, and I just blended it and blended it until I was happy. Take some off the top where you don't want it. Like so. Probably a little bit too much on there, but it's not a problem. We can take it off as we're going along. Like so. A little bit more in here. This time I'll put it in the dish instead of on the bloody paper. This is basically it's just like a pin wash. It really is just like a pin wash, but using oils. And then just clean up what you don't want and blend the rest outwards, just to continue that sort of base colour. So you got something like that. Just gives that false shadow. And as it dries, you know, you'll get more of the of that look. This is a bit shiny because it's had a silk satin coat on. Because when I do the well, I was going to do decals. I'm going to try and paint them on now, but and then I'm going to do the chipping as well. So before I do before I do anything, I say I'm going to do all the paint work on the numbers and things like that, and then I'll do a pin wash on the bolts and things like that, and then we'll start the chipping. So what I'll do now is I'll get things ready for the paint I'm going to use and other bits and pieces for the decals, for the markings for the tank, and we'll be back in about, for you people, seconds. For me, a couple of minutes. Right, I'm going to play it safe since it's one of the first times I've actually done this painting the decal, painting the numbers on. I'm going to use oil paint so it's easy cleaning up and make a cock up. So, same again, we've got that odorless thinner there and the white oil paint, and this brush is quite tattered, but It gives me the right sort of texture, I would say. It's not neat and tidy, it's a bit rough looking, which is just as well for me. So we'll give it a go. So I'm going to do number 174 of the 47th Armour Brigade. Obviously Berlin, 1945. I think it is. So here we go. I don't know if I'm able to do it at this angle, so I'll just start off like this to start with, if that's okay. And we'll just start. If we get a good hold of it. I don't want it neat. Which he says just as well for me. I think I might just thin that one down a little bit, on the chunky side. And number 4. There we go. Well, that's not too bad. I'm going to just tidy that one up offline. Well, offline. I want to tidy it up now. Actually, get a cleaner brush. Get a cleaner brush from somewhere. That one will do. That one will do. And I'll just take a little bit off it. Thin it down slightly. Pardon me, that's a bit better. Looks a bit rough, which is basically what I wanted, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'll do that on the reverse and also on the white lines, which I'm going to attempt as well once I do the other side of this 174. So once I get back to do 174 on the other side, and I'll try and do the white line on this side first to see if I can get any good at it, and then I'll come back to you and show you what I've done. So, see you in a bit. Right, we're back again. I'll show you the markings that I managed to do. I'm quite pleased with them. So, you see me do the 174, and I've done, this is all with oil paints. I've actually painted the rest of the little decals on the red diamond and a triangle with a dot inside. So, and it's all oil paint. You know, so it's all in the back, stone, top. Same on the other side with the red triangle and the red diamond and the yellow triangle, and that's it. I put markings. I say Russian tanks usually have a few slogans on, but this one didn't. So what I'm going to do now with this, I'm just going to leave it just to dry slightly again. It's you know, with all paints, they do take slightly longer to dry. So then I'm going to give it a coat of that, just the upper hull, just to protect the paint underneath before I do the next step, which will be a pin wash. So what we're going to do now is, I'll say, when that's dry, I shall use that satin varnish on the turret, and then we'll call this the end of update 3, painting and weathering update 1, if you know what I mean. First part of the weathering and painting, so we've come to that stage, so it doesn't spread out too much on one video. Yeah, so I'm happy with that's come out, because it looks like it's just been painted on by, you know, a Russian tanker. You know, it's a bit rough and ready just as well for me, but yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. you see, all by hand or freehand, which is pretty good. A few months ago when I was quite poorly and I come back, I didn't have a steady hand. Still haven't really got a steady hand, but luckily I managed to get them done. So that's going to go on the back onto the upper hull. Sorry, the turret, and it's starting to look, it's starting to look the part now. We've got the so the next part will be when we start the next episode. We'll be starting with the pin wash. So thank you very much for viewing, and we'll see you on the next episode, which will be up when it's ready. So thank you very much for my subscribers, new and old again, and please keep safe and well, and we'll get through all this. Just do what we're doing. Us modelers, stay at home, happy, crack out the bench, happy. Alright then chaps, we'll see you in a bit.